Hi, my name is Catherine, and I am a client of Fiona Rose, and I see her for the Access Bars treatment. Not only have I experienced wonderful results with the Access Bars, but I've also had my son who had concussion trauma and some emotional issues such as borderline ADD, ADHD. He is actually a vaccine injured child who had some dormant brain swelling that shows up in different ways than some other children. And then my husband as well, he is a concussion expert in some ways, I should say, not only because he's had many, but also because he ended up healing himself from a lot of post-concussion trauma. But recently he was in just a state of some severe stress with work pressure. So based on my experiences with what Fiona had done for me, I sent my husband in for a treatment, and it literally made the world of difference. My husband felt borderline as though he was going to have a heart attack. He is a very high stress person right now. He works a very dangerous job. And he was just incredibly overwhelmed, and taking the time to take a bar session was actually something that he even struggled to find time to do. But once he did, he literally did an about face in his mental ability just to handle the stress of what was going on business-wise. And also she was able to help release some old patterns and some old emotional baggage that he wasn't really aware that he was carrying. And once it was released, it kind of was this major aha moment. So I can't speak enough to how she managed to help my big macho man husband, my athletic son who's 14, and then myself. And if you've seen my belly dance testimonial, the reason I saw Fiona for the bars was I carried a lot of emotional trauma from my past, not so much mentally anymore. I had done a lot of the work on myself through therapy and some other forms of treatment, but there were just some layers there that I hadn't been able to reach on my prior journey. And so when she was able to run the bars, it actually got into areas of old injury that my body sustained. It got into areas of emotional attachment that was still there, hidden very deep. And it was also able to clear just some other interesting aspects in my life and connections I'd made that no longer served me. So through Access Bars, I had a skin issue. I had extreme psoriasis on my scalp, that dietary changes, all sorts of physical alignment adjustments, different shampoos, different herbal remedies. I'm very holistic in my practices, and had really been working on it for a couple of years. After she was able to release some cording and some attachments that I had through past experiences, the entire issue with my head was cleared up. So I want to use the word miracle. That's genuinely how I feel about the process, and I'm actually so moved and touched by what it did for me and my family that I would even recommend it to the elderly, to children, to infants, for different issues, whether it be emotional, mental, or neurological. I think had I found it sooner, some of the issues that my son was going through when he was younger in school, I think would have also been alleviated. So again, if you're thinking about Access Bars, it is worth every penny, and it is worth every beautiful tear you shed. If you get into the deep, deep layers, it is the absolute most freeing and beautiful modality I have since encountered. Thank you. Namaste.